Welcome to the podcast about being unmessable with, no matter what life throws at you. Here is your host, Josselyne Herman-Saccio.
Hey there, welcome to Be Unmessable with the podcast. I'm Josselyne Herman-Saccio, your host, and today I want to talk about where your focus is and whether it's on your vision or on the vehicle. Oftentimes, when I work with entrepreneurs or founders or executives, what I find is when they're high performing, they oftentimes get fixated on what I call the vehicle versus the vision. And this is something that can produce burnout. It can produce upset. It can have you be, not satisfied with the results that you're producing because your focus starts to become about the thing you're doing versus the purpose of why you're doing what you're doing, which is a much bigger playing field. So, for instance, if you have a vision to impact your well-being, let's say to elevate your fitness, and then you start doing hockey. Okay, this is a bad example. I can tell it's going to break down right away, but you start playing hockey and then you break your ankle and you can't play hockey anymore. It seems like you no longer have access to your vision, but that's not true because if you're fixated or focused on the vehicle called hockey and you can no longer do hockey, then your vision goes out the window. However, if you shift your focus to the vision of elevating your well being, there's thousands of ways that you could elevate your well-being and you're not stuck with the vehicle called hockey. Okay, now let's get this into a business context. If you have a vision for impacting your bottom line or, doubling your income, and then you start an initiative like some sort of social media campaign and it fails and you go, well, then forget it. I guess it's not worth doing. You forget that what you're really wanting is the vision being realized, not that vehicle being effective. So if you can refocus on what your vision is, it allows you to see a myriad of other opportunities to create vehicles to fulfill on your vision versus being stuck with the original one that you came up with. Oftentimes, when people create something, not just a vision, but the vehicle in which to fulfill the vision, they get stuck with what they created and they become imprisoned by their own creation. This is a pitfall that anybody who wants to live a created life needs to look out for because ultimately your vehicles are not the same thing as your vision. And what really inspires you, what really has the potential for magic and satisfaction and fulfillment in life is the vision, not the vehicle. So that's a lot of V's and visions and vehicles. But the point is, if you notice yourself being burnt out or upset or attached to the way something looks or the vehicle by which you're getting somewhere, just refocus, stop for a moment and look up and out at what is the purpose of this activity? What am I really creating here? And then look and see if you don't see other accesses. So I like to use a traveling analogy. If where I want to get to is Paris, which is always where I want to get to is Paris, and my plane gets canceled and all the planes in the world get canceled, there are other ways to get to Paris. Now it may take more effort, it may take more thinking, it may take more creativity, but there are other pathways. So check out your vision and don't get fixated on the vehicle. And that way you could see a whole host of other pathways to fulfill on what you really want. All right, let me know how it goes as you practice focusing on the vision, not the vehicle. Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Be Unmessable with the podcast. I never take for granted that you've chosen to spend some time with me, and I am committed that you get value every time you do. So if you want to develop your unmessable with muscle to create life versus react to it, click below in the show notes and we will get you into our free promise game process that will enable you to start creating what you want versus waiting for what you want. I look forward to hearing back from you on what you're creating, as well as future topics for the show that might support you in being unmessable with. See you next time.